Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Detour podcast. We're coming at our regular time. And what a stage overnight, Iffy. Simon Clarke breaking through. First ever Tour de France stage win for Israel Premier Tech. And Simon's first individual stage win. Of course, he won the team time trial back in 2013, Iffy. But, geez, you struggle to find words to describe the emotion. You know, we had Clarkey on the podcast at the end of last year when he didn't have a contract, and he couldn't understand how he was in that position. And here he is, less than 12 months later, and he's won a stage at the Tour de France. Unbelievable.
Bay Crits in January.
Bay Crits in Jan.
Bay Crits to the big time.
Exactly.
Bay Crits is not big time, but yeah, look, it's a wonderful story. And it's sort of a two-edged sword. You know, wonderful story for Australia with that win, but terrible story for Australia with Jack Haig out. Crashed out, and Ben O'Connor losing so much time. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go back to that. I was just been texting back and forward to Simon, and I was talking to his brother Danny just before as well. And of course, he's over the moon. But Simon, he said, I still can't believe it, you know. And I said, you know, mate, 5K to go. I thought you would win. I thought you would win because I could tell are all on the limit. And he's such a smart bike rider. I just thought he won't make a mistake. He'll do everything dead right. And the others all made mistakes. Simon did not make one mistake. And it was just so good, so smart. A few little things happened in that last couple of K, but it was just brilliant.
The composure. When he was sitting on, was it Bossenhagen's wheel? And there was about 1.2K to go. And there was the gap that went out. And I thought, oh, geez.
Paulus went at one just before the K, 1100 out. It went bang, and they all had one card to play. They were all nailed. They had one card to play. Paulus played his, and it was the right move.
Yeah,
it was perfect for him. But and then Clarkey just sat, as you say, sat right on the Norwegian's wheel, and. Yeah, it was the perfect thing to do. And in the end, it was like a game of poker. And Bosenhagen, he went. And then his big mistake wasn't actually going. It was when he realised he had Paulus, keeping going. He catches Paulus. There's still 450 to go. He knows they're on his wheel. He needed to just back off a fraction. That's where he made his mistake. And then Taco Van Horn made his mistake. He went right by 50 metres, 100 metres too early. And
I know. And the bike throw. It's one of the greatest ever bike throws you'll ever see.
Great throw. And he was nailed. He was cramping in both legs, he said, you know, but he just threw everything into it, threw that through. And already in that last 100 metres, you can see Taco was really, his tachometer was revving out, and you could see he was sort of, making love to the bike. You know, he was really, really struggling. And, it was all in that throw. It's just a wonderful, wonderful moment. And the emotion of it.
We flashed up the comment before from Gabe, who said the patience with Clarke at the end was unreal. Gavin B says Clarke showed what a smart rider he is. He knew Bossenhagen wasn't going to give up the win. Took a lot of guts to hold on for so long. That's it. Like the patience in that moment to hold. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then Neil Jeffs makes a good point. Few team managers would be shaking their heads about not giving him a contract. Carolyn Harbeck, she was in tears. I mean, it's unbelievable. And this is why on the podcast we were pushing really hard. It wasn't because he's our mate. It's because there was part of it, but it's because he's still a quality bike rider, and he still had a lot to offer, and he still could provide a skill set as a road captain for any team, and it just didn't make any sense. So and the fact that in that situation, there's so many people that would go, you know what? I've had a great career. I've had a crack. I didn't get a contract. Now it's time to look at transitioning into something else. But he trained even harder, and he made sure that he was fit over that summer.
You know, I can remember sitting with him down Geelong, just before the Bay Crits started, and he was talking about what he needed to do, how he was going to race the Bay Crits really hard, which he did. He was fantastic, and then do a big nationals. And I thought he could win the nationals.
Yeah.
And he'd spoken with Green Edge. He'd tried to get back with Green Edge, but just didn't quite work. And it tried with all the teams, and then suddenly. He got that the call up, so it was a straight away go. It was base contract 1 year. Zach Dempster got him the deal. He just knew, and they're mates. They raced together, so he knew how professional that Clarke is, and that was it. No, didn't ride the nationals. Bang, straight to training camp with Israel, and. Been an amazing asset right at the start. He had the best form of the whole team right at the start because he'd really set himself up for it. So, yeah, just a wonderful story.
And, I saw the interview where he was saying that Zach Dempster was the one that went up to him in the morning and said, mate, today's the day. You're going to get your chance. You can get in the breakaway if you want. You're the first rider of the group that we're going to give license to do that. And Clarke was like, yeah, no, if that's my chance. I've won stages in the first week, at the Vuelta and had the jersey at the Giro, and yeah, he was ready to go. Well, there's some great vision that's been posted from SBS that shows the commentary box in the finale there. So let's have a look at the final stages with Keenan, Simon Gerrans and Bridie O'Donnell.
Nielsen Powless, is he going to take a flyer? Yes, he is. He laid off. He wants to catch them by surprise. Clarke is waiting for Bosenhagen to take up the chase. Clarke still waits. Bosenhagen still waits. Powless has flown the coop. It's time trial time for Nielsen Powless. A look across the shoulder. It could be yellow. It could be the stage win. Bosenhagen has caused a gap to Clarke. Now it's one-on-one. Nielsen Powless and Edvald Bosenhagen. The American, he's caught. Clarke is still challenging, and Taco van der Hoorn is still waiting. He played poker, and he played it bravely. He's been in the slipstream the whole way through. Bosenhagen hits a wheel. Taco van der Hoorn, he takes up the sprints. Van der Hoorn and Clarke. It could be Taco Tuesday, and it's on a Wednesday. Clarke is coming. Clarke is over the top. Has he conquered the cobbles? Clarke to a photo with Taco van der Hoorn. Let's all hold our breath. Clarke could be the winner.
What a sprint. They all went at it. They all blew one by one. It was Nielsen Powless who went first.
It's Clarke who wins. The photo was popped up. Simon Clarke, sensational.
Fantastic stuff.
And they couldn't get a word in. Gero looked like he was trying to get a word in. Could not get a word in. But he was a judge. Matty didn't seem to have any money on Clarke at all in that last one.
I love it when Keenan goes, it's Taco Tuesday, and then his brain goes, hang on, it's Wednesday. That was awesome.
That was it was something else. But yeah, and a lot of mistakes made in this stage. Look, I'm not a big. I love the stage. I was excited about whatever, but I just don't think it should be in the tour for all the reasons of what happened. We've now got Jack Haig is out. That's just bloody tragic. Ben O'Connor. Interestingly, your interview with Ben O'Connor before the start turns out to be quite prolific in that you guys were highlighting to him, you and Mitch, talking about the challenge. He had it all work. No. If something happens, it's shorter. The whole team will just wait. We can't lose too much time. They didn't just wait. That was a mistake. Two Youngles and one of the other guys, they dropped to the back of that main group, but they didn't stop straight away. By the time they got back to Ben, the gap was already starting to go the other way. They needed to put their brakes on and actually stop. Like Steve-O tried to yell at them in the Vuelta, stop, because that's what needed to be done. He needed them straight away, all that firepower. They were only 30, 40 seconds down for a while there. If you had the other two guys there straight away, they would have had a chance. But they left the right guy. They left the guy home who should have been there.
You could feel that Ben was nervous before the stage as well. And if you're nervous into those cobble stages, I mean, that's more reason to make sure that you are watching him, you know, every single square inch of that stage.
There was not one GC rider there who wasn't nervous, and they weren't nervous. Something wrong with him. Podgacard didn't seem to be nervous, but he didn't give a shit. From another planet. He's from another planet, and his team all had trouble and weren't around him. But he's just such a smart bike rider that he just was in the right spot all the time. But Roglic was unlucky. He did everything right. He was in the right place. He didn't worry about the team. He was always up in the wrong spot, but he just was in that unlucky fall. Went down with Caleb, and that was just bad luck. A bit of furniture, one of the motorbikes tipped one of those. Pulled it out, and down they went. But Roderick, so his team's out the back chasing. He's pulled out, and then he pulled his shoulder out to sit down in a chair and actually put his own shoulder in. And while that happened, his team went by. I reckon they made a mistake there. They should have just waited for him then and there. He was only 20 seconds back. Get him on. Wouldn't have been much different time. Anyway.
Peter Williams says, Wout van Aert was right of the day. If not for him, then Pogacar takes a minute on his rivals.
Well, you know what? Right of the day in two ways. His last 10K was amazing and definitely right. He pulled 30 seconds back out in that time, which was amazing. And I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think something a bit funny happened with Pogacar. Maybe he just ran out of fuel a little bit, but because they dropped quite.
They were pulling time back, and then it went out right in the end. So maybe
right in the end. But that Wout van Aert rode a crazy race early on. He was sitting down the back before he crashed. He was at the back of the bunch. I don't know what he was doing. Almost like he was waiting for something to happen to one of them and be there to help. I don't know, but then he crashed. Then how he didn't run into that into the other car, not his own team car, to the DSM car. He actually hit it. Just lack of concentration for that second. And then he seemed to get all nervous. So then he just hung around down the back instead of moving back up to the front of the group. So it was a real weird. And then when Vinegar had his issue and changed bikes, tried to jump on his teammate's bike, who's a foot taller than him, couldn't ride the damn thing, and then that was all just a comedy of errors. They went from the team that looked indestructible to a team that it
was all over the road.
Bloody faulty towers. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
Well, the director I spoke to, I don't even know his name. We gave the Kanga. I mean, he was definitely stressed as well before the start. Gave me donuts. He said, "You'll see. What's the plan of attack?" He said, "You'll see during the stage." Well, yeah, we saw it.
You did.
It's a dog's breakfast.
More time looking at the bloody kangaroo, mate.
All right. Well, let's take a quick drinks break because I've got a couple other videos from Clarke and his reaction after the finish. So plenty more to go on the Detour podcast.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike. 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange. As we always say, if you get over to bikeexchange.com.au for anything bike related. If you need a mountain bike, road bike, you need a helmet, you need anything, get on there.
Where you are in the world, just jump onto Bike Exchange and they'll locate the best deal for you.
Simon Knowles, Nelsy. What a ripper of a stage. Well deserved by Simon. Byron says, is Matthew Vanderpool not having a good race so far, Johnny?
Yeah, he came out. He said he doesn't know what's wrong with him. He hasn't felt quite right. He didn't even feel 100% at the Giro, but since then he hasn't really recovered. He doesn't know what it is. He's hoping that it comes back, but he had a shocker yesterday.
They're calling it the Kanga curse. Gabe said it was the Kanga curse for Team Jumbo Visma.
No, it was the Kanga curse because he didn't take it. If he had first of all, he brushed you aside, then the team brushed you aside, and the Kanga curse has come back. Yeah.
Yep. Stuart McIntosh, and what a ride by the Pog. Surely only COVID or a crash is the only thing that can stop him winning 3 in a row. Cobbles did not present an issue at all.
No, they didn't. But, this bike race still hasn't started for the GC, really.
No, that's right.
Pog's looking good. We've got tomorrow, first day with a bit of a hill, Place de la Fille or whatever it's called, where he won.
Yeah.
The Super Place de Belleville. But and then we've got some big mountains to come. And look, it's only seconds. And even after all of that, Jonas is still only 40 seconds back. So, there's plenty to happen in this bike race. But they've gone from being Jumbo Visma to being this indestructible team with the double-edged sword to it's a bit shaky. So, a lot of fun. And look, Ben's still not out of it. He's 4 minutes down. He's still not out of it as far as getting on the podium. So it's all going to be seen in the next few days. I really look forward to you getting after Jack's crash. No more lucky charms, please, Dan. Yeah, very true. You gave him a lucky charm. That's what he said.
It was a safety pin, and he crashed out. So you always open the risk up when you make those sort of statements.
Yes. Look. We've got a bike race happening today into Belgium for quite a bit of the stage. The first half or 3/4 of the stage, I think, goes through Belgium, and up and down. Good finale. This is a real Sagan day. I would have said a Van der Poel day normally, but I can't see him coming back today. Van Aert, I think he'd be a little bit. Sore and sorry for himself after yesterday, but it should be a great finale today. It could be a bling day, today. I give him a big chance today.
Well, here was Simon Clarke's interview after the finish.
Simon, explain that last sprint. I've come to many 3-4 up sprints like that before, and you just have to believe in yourself. And even then when Nielsen went, it was looking good for him, but I knew it was going to be windy coming in that last straight, and you just got to be cold as ice and let the other guys panic and bide your time. And even when Taco hit out, I waited, I still saw it was 350, it was too far, and I just threw my bike as hard as I could on the finish line. So I can't believe it.
Awesome insight. He knows the wind. He knows, he's looking at the, how far to go. He knows because it's windy at 350, that's too far. And then he knows, the only way I'm going to win this is, a massive bike throw and time it right at the death. And he knew that other guys were going to sort of get overexcited or panic and go too early.
He's just so smart. So I noticed that some of the commentary team sort of had him done and dusted about 5 or 6K out because I don't know what happened in one of the corners. He must have just gone wide on it because he lost some distance, but he didn't blow up. He just made a mistake. I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe a small mechanical. I don't know what it was, but he wasn't there for a short time. And I know Bridie said, "Oh, it looks like he's gone," but Guerrero was spotted right onto. He said, "I don't think so. He looked too settled and comfortable. Something must have happened." As it turns out, something did happen. We'll have to find out exactly what that was. But because the next frame, he was back in there, which was great. That's all what happened about in the last 10K sometime. But from then on, he never made a mistake. He just did everything spot on. The last cobble section, he was right at the front. He just had it completely in hands. That was wonderful to watch.
And here's parts of that I got off Twitter from his official interview where he's just talking about the emotion of the win.
Yeah, I moved to Europe when I was 16, and I'm 36 on the second rest day, so 20 years now in Europe, and today the dream came true.
But at 36, you're a very wise fox. That was impressive. Experience paid off at the finish, right?
Yeah, I mean, both the stages I've won in the Vuelta came to similar finishes when 2-3 up sprints, and you really just have to bide your time. And even when Palace attacked, you just got to sit back and pray that the other guys, panic before you do. And I just tried to leave Edvold a little bit of space to give him maybe that he would try and get the jump on me, and he took the bait, and then I really had to chase him hard, and then Taco came straight over the top, and I looked up and I saw 350, and I thought, wow, that's still a long way to go. We've been sprinting since the 800 meter to go corner, and I just tucked him behind him and just went as hard as I could to that line.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Hi to everyone in Australia. Thanks for all the support, and hope it did you proud tonight.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I was talking to his brother Danny, who you know well. He's worked with the team, physio, masseur on the team, a legend. And he's actually flying over tomorrow. I think he's going to see family and stuff and catch up with Simon. So the timing is perfect. But he'd just been talking to Simon, and after the stage, and he said Simon was just over the moon, and said some of those same things that Zach had said to him. Right, this is your chance, mate. You can go up the road today. So he grabbed that with both hands. It's just such a beautiful story in every way. But there's a few other things. I can't think of his name. The Italian with EF. And I know that Robbie was getting stuck into him on social media as well about what was he doing. He was chasing with Pogacar. He was talking to Pogacar, had his arm around him at one stage, and then on the front in two separate situations. And I think the team finally said to him, "What are you doing?" And put your head in, and he stopped. But he spent quite a bit of time chasing on the front. He's got two teammates up in the break, and another teammate, Uran, in the group trying to get back on.
How would you handle that if you're a sports director, Iffy? What would you say to that rider in the bus?
Well, I'm sure they've said it. They're all saying, what's his name? The American boss of that team said, look, he just got a bit overexcited.
Borders.
Yeah, Borders saying, I think he got a bit overexcited because he's had some issues. Because he won Tour of Flanders only just over a year ago, but he's had some issues with health and whatever. Now he's back. Well, I know what I'd be doing. He'd be backing out the bloody door after that.
Yeah.
I first have to find out what was he thinking. Robbie reckons he must have a contract going to UAE next year because that's what it looked like. But Vorder said, no, he's signed with us for the next 2 years. So I don't know.
Prasad says he thinks the Ineos GC leaders, they weren't dropped. They were caught in the Roglic crash.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. I don't think I don't think we did say they were dropped. They were definitely caught in that crash, and they benefited a lot from what Van Aert did in the last 10K. Matter of fact, I know Geraint Thomas said, I think we all should buy Wout a beer because they saved a lot of time. 30 seconds to 40 seconds, they would have been nearly a minute down. So they ended up only losing 15 seconds or something like that. So they were very lucky.
Well, it's going to be a emotional start today because we're going to obviously catch up with Simon Clarke. We'll present him with the Roo. We'll have all that footage on the show tomorrow. We'll catch up with, obviously, Zach Dempster. We'll talk to Chris Froome and talk about, what sort of emotions were in the team last night. It would have been good to be a fly on the wall on, in the team car with Demers and on the bus. Yeah. And I'm not sure if Netflix covering Israel Premier Tech in the series, because if they are, I mean, Clarke will be a household global
That's an
name.
interesting one. Yeah, I saw this little piece here. I'll tell you in a second who were the teams.
All right. Ryan McMillan says, what an awesome win. It's frustrating that an Aussie can win a stage in one of the biggest bike races in the world, yet all the media can report here is Nick Kyrgios and his antics. Well, that's bloody disappointing, Ryan.
You're spot on, mate. You're spot on, Ryan. Look, I think all the papers will have, it finishes so late. The newspapers can't get it. But I know that Sam Edmund was on the radio today with because he had Danny Clarke on and talking about.
Did you hear my interview with Sammy the other day?
I didn't hear it, but I heard about it.
I threw him first question when he said, we got Dan Jones over at the Tour de France. And I said, yeah, Sammy, you should be over here. You should have asked Hutchie to send you over, mate. Hey, what's going on? He goes, yeah. Who said it was too early in the morning? So anyway. Stuart Maktos wants to know, are you live from the start again, Dan, or was that a one-off? At this point, it was a one-off, but if I get all my SBS stuff done, Johnny, and I'm sitting there and I've got a couple of minutes to spare, we could do a live interview.
Yeah. Look, it just means that someone do. We'd love to do it. Look, we thought that worked so well, but then the next day, you couldn't do it. So this way, we know we can get a podcast. But we'd love to do that again for sure.
Yeah. I think it works probably better the stages where, one, you never know when the buses are going to arrive. Like they could be on time, they could be late. Yesterday they arrived late, and it was just a nightmare when you got to get all the other interviews done as well.
Yeah, no, the teams that are doing the Netflix thing are AG2R, Citron, so that'll be interesting to see them today. Alperson,
yep,
Bora Hansgrove, EF. Ineos, Jumbo Visma, Groupama, FDJ, and Quick Step. So no Israel. So no.
Well, that's a shame. That would have been fantastic.
Well, I can't believe they're not.
With Froome on the team, you would have thought they would have done it.
Well, Bike Exchange, Jacko, you think that would have been ideal?
I know,
but they didn't. Anyway, their decision.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything you want to add before we go, Iffy?
No. Just a little on the women's Giro.
Yes.
Donna. As we got the breaking news came out yesterday. Marion Vos won her 32nd stage. She beat Lottie Kopecky, Silvia Pacico. Spratty was right up there. But overall, it's still the same with Annemiek. They're leading from Garcia, and Spratty is in 6th place at 5 minutes.
And I've got to send a big shout out to, obviously, you can see by the cap, I'm here live at the Flandrian Hotel in Brackle. We had a great night, got to catch up with Lorenzo Lepage. He was going to try and get Eddie Merckx down, but he was a late scratching. He had to go to dinner phase.
I guessed it might have been. You didn't stop yourself.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to build it up too much.
Well, is he going to appear at the tour at some stage?
He's going to be there in the morning today, I think. So, they launched they've got a gallery here of Christophe Raron, the cycling photographer, and he's got some of his best photos from his Grand Tours. It's absolutely amazing. And the setup here.
Why haven't you done a little piece for us for our show?
Well, I probably should have, but I was enjoying the ambience.
Well, you still could do it now. You could get a little piece and put it on tomorrow's show.
Yeah. I'll do a piece definitely, and I'll show you Jamie's bike collection. It is the number one road bike collection on the planet.
Okay,
it is fascinating the way he tells the story as you get here, and he goes through his passion, and unbelievable. So
great stuff.
I'll do that package, run that tomorrow, and then tomorrow's show you'll get all the reaction from Simon Clarke winning the Ride of the Day award. We'll talk to Demers, we'll get Chris Froome, we'll get the whole team. So
we might also be discussing Bling's great victory tonight. So there you go.
That's it, and I'm done handing out the safety pins. That's finished. That is finished. YouTube.com/the Detour podcast. Thanks for your support, guys. See you again tomorrow, Effie. Enjoy the stage. See you guys.
This is the winning ride of the Tour de France.